Hello and welcome to another episode from Norway. It's my last evening in Norway, getting up very, very early tomorrow. 12 hours from now, I will be on my way to the airport. I've got quite a lot of crochet done. My knitting crochet plans this holiday didn't quite go to plan. Talk more about that in a minute, but I have finished something and finished half another project, and I've got some very exciting news to share about some events I'm taking part in this autumn, so I will share that with you as well. Plus my 30% off all my patterns is still valid, so I'll share those details with you as well in just a minute. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website yarnaddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Apologies, so you can see my backpack behind me there. I was hoping I would block it, but I'm not. I had it all packed, but I packed some of the stuff I wanted to show you, so I unpacked it again. And I couldn't be bothered to zip it all up and put it back on the floor. I thought if I leave it there, I can just put the stuff I've taken out to show you, put it back in again. Before I show you what I've been knitting and crocheting, let's just talk about the 30% off my patterns and some stuff that's coming up this autumn, which I can share for the first time, and I'm very, very excited about it. So first, you can get 30% off all my patterns on Payhip and Ravelry until the end of July, so only a few more days. The code is summer30, all one word. I'll put the details on the screen, and they'll also be linked down below in the description box. The code will be there, plus the links to my Ravelry and Payhip pattern shops will be there as well. So you can use it as many times as you want. And please feel free to share it with your friends. If you're in a knitting group online where people allow you to share discount codes from other people, then please feel free to share it, or on your socials. I'm really thrilled if you be able to share it, but make sure you don't spam Facebook groups and stuff that don't allow that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be at Yarndale in September, and it's the last weekend in September. I know it's the weekend of our wedding anniversary again. We have had many wedding anniversary at Yarndale in the last few years. So it's the last weekend in September. I can't remember the exact date. I do know which day my wedding anniversary is, but last weekend in September. I'm going to have a stall there, but I'm also teaching on the Sunday. So I'm teaching an Intarsia colour workshop on the Sunday. So if you've always been a bit scared of tackling Intarsia, we're going to work on a small project, and it's not as difficult as you think it's going to be. It's not as scary as many people think. So if you fancy tackling Intarsia and you're planning to come to Yarndale, then do make sure you book it. I'll link it below this video. The workshops are available for booking now. I haven't actually checked to see if they're fully booked yet or not, so apologies if they are already, but I haven't checked it yet. I think they only went live last week, but I haven't sent out a newsletter last week, so this is my first chance of telling people, although I have talked about it on social media once or twice. And then in September, I'm going to be at Black Sheep Wools in Warrington in Cheshire, and one of my workshops is full, but the other one, Mosaic Say Colour Work, has one space left. So if you fancy that space, do snap it up. The other workshop I'm teaching in September, Black Sheep Wools, is full, and the two I'm doing in November are full. So hopefully they'll have me back next year for some more, because they've booked up very, very quickly. If you're interested in workshops of Black Sheep Wools with me specifically, do make sure you send them a message and ask them to get me back. I'm sure they will. Okay, and then I'm really excited to announce that I'm going to be teaching at the Knit and Stitch show in Harrogate in Yorkshire in November. It's going to be such a busy autumn, because I'm going to be in Cheshire and Yorkshire twice. So Cheshire once, Yorkshire once in September, and then we're going on holiday. I might be going on 2 holidays in October, Lisbon and possibly Norway again as well, probably Norway again as well. And then I'm going to be in Warrington and Yorkshire again in November. So I'm going to be teaching at the Harrogate Knit and Stitch Show, which I'm really excited about. I haven't been to the Knit and Stitch Show in Harrogate before, and I haven't actually been to the one at Alexandra Palace in London either, since it was taken over by the current organisers. I haven't been for quite a few years, so I'm really excited to be teaching at the Harrogate Show. I'm teaching on the Thursday, Friday and Saturday. I didn't write down the dates, but I'll make sure I link it below. If you click on the link below, it'll take you to their main workshop page, and there are loads of workshops across a range of different crafts. So if you want to see mine specifically, just click on where it says Advanced Filter, then you can scroll down, and all the tutors' names at the bottom are alphabetical. So just look for my name, Anniken Allis. It says Anniken Allis YarnAddict, look for that name, and then you can see the workshops that I'm teaching. I'm teaching on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and I'm teaching Mobius cowls. You learn how to do the Mobius custom, which is very clever, and knit a Mobius cowl, mosaic colourwork again, skinny eyelet scarf. So I have a new scarf which hasn't been published yet, and that's what I'm going to be teaching. So if you want to do learn how to do basic lace, basic eyelet pattern and shaping and things like that, it's quite a fun workshop, I think. Knitting in the round on long circling needle, magic loop and travelling, that's what I said in the description. And seaming knitted fabric, the most popular topic out of my finishing techniques workshop, which is seaming knitted fabric, and I'm going to teach that for an hour. So if you want to learn how to sew up knitted fabric using mattress stitch, this is the workshop for you. And then I'm also doing continental knitting. Some of these workshops I'm doing once, some I'm doing 2 or 3 times over the week, the 3 days. So do go and check that out. Remember, if you click on the advanced filter, and you can scroll down to the bottom and select my name. I will also have some workshops coming at Spinner Yarn in the autumn. We've been in touch, and I need to send her some dates, so I'll announce those as soon as they come. Spinner Yarn is in Devon. I also have some workshops at the Knitting Hotel, teaching there in the autumn as well. I'm not going to go through them all. They're in my newsletter, so go and check out my newsletter if you've subscribed. They're all listed in my newsletter, and I will try next week to actually get all the workshops for the autumn up on my website. It's just such a time-consuming thing, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. One more thing before we talk about what I've been knitting and crocheting. The Tuesday video this week was Crafting Through Adversity, where I talk about how crafting, knitting specifically for me, or crocheting, and crafting in general can help us when we're going through challenging times. So whether it's dealing with chronic pain, depression, bereavement, just difficult life challenges, just when life seems a bit uncertain, as it does at the moment. That video was out on Tuesday. It's got quite a lot of comments. It seemed to have struck a chord with quite a few people. Basically, it's been incredibly hot while I've been here. It was kind of mid-20s the first 2 or 3 days I was here, and then it's been over 30 degrees or around 30 degrees since. It's been incredibly hot, and I know a lot of people in Britain say that British houses are made to keep the heat in. Well, you multiply that by 100 for Norwegian houses. The other problem is that the way my parents' building is, they're on the top floor of a block of flats, and the sun basically goes around this side, which is, they basically get the sun from the morning till the evening. So this side of the building gets incredibly hot. It's great in the winter because they don't have to have that much heating on. It's always warm here, but it's unbearable in the summer, which is why I've left it till 7 o'clock to film this. If you go in here during the day, even in the winter, I never have heating on in this room when I'm here, and I always have to have the air vent open even in the winter at night. Quite often I'll open the window slightly as well at night, unless it's like -15 outside. But if it's only like -5 or something Celsius, obviously, then I will usually quite often open the window slightly at night as well when I'm here in the winter, because it gets so hot. I've opened one of the windows wide open to let a bit of air in so I can film, but it's just been so hot. So we haven't done as much as we normally do. We haven't had as many days out. We did go to a town called Fredrikstad last week one day, me and my mum. We had a wander around. We went to a yarn shop. It's a really lovely yarn shop there. I had hoped to buy something, but when we were there, I did see one skein of pink yarn that I really fancied. It was hand-dyed bright pink yarn, but it was organic merino, and it didn't go with any of my other kind of sock yarn, hand-dyed yarn skeins. And I'm trying not to just buy loads of random skeins of hand-dyed yarn. So I did resist it because it was also quite expensive. So I did resist it and I didn't actually buy anything, which I felt a bit guilty about, but it is a really pretty yarn shop, which you'll also see. So I'll show you a little bit now from Fredrikstad. It's the old town of Fredrikstad. It's the town south of here and close to the Swedish border. If you're in this area, it's well worth visit. It's an old fortified town. It's really pretty. And it's a really lovely yarn shop there. The yarn shop doesn't open till 11 though, so bear that in mind. But I'll put the name of the yarn shop on the screen when it comes up at the end of this clip. So let's look at my crochet sweater, which I have finished. I haven't tried it on yet. So I crocheted this in Hjertegarn Organic Trio, which is merino, cotton and silk. And I had 3 balls of this in my shop because I do stock this in my online shop. So I knew that wouldn't be enough, but I ordered another 4 balls. And when it arrived, a few days before I left, I didn't actually compare it to my original yarn. I just packed it. And I did look at it and think, oh, that looks a bit brighter. But I thought it's probably just a light. So I packed it, got to Norway, and I didn't get it out till I was ready to start, till I needed it to crochet with. And then I realized it was completely different color. So the difference in color, I don't know how easy it's going to come up on the screen, but this, you see this solid row here, that's my foundation row. That's my original color, and the color I decide is the new color. So what I did was, which I did talk about last week, I had done the back from the top to the underarm, from like elbow to elbow in the old color, and I'd done a little bit on the front in the old color. And then when I went to join in the new color and realized it was a very big mismatch, I ripped it out and I started doing the front in the new color. And I ordered some yarn from Denmark. I thought it was coming from Norway because it was a .no website, but when it was shipped, it actually came from Denmark. Ordered another 5 balls, I think, so I wasn't sure the 4 were going to be enough. 4 would have been fine. I got 2.5 balls left, I think, so I only needed 3 really. So I was hoping that would be same as or closer to the color I'd ordered in the UK before I came. Anyway, when it arrived, it was the exact same dye lot, so that was really lucky. So I then ripped back the back and did that again. But the thing was, I started, because I don't like starting with a chain. Normally when you crochet, apologies if you're a knitter and not a crocheter, but I know some of you crochet as well. Normally you start with a chain and then you'd work your first row of stitches into that chain. I hate doing that. I'm really bad at it. So I start with the foundation row, which I'm basically crocheting like a foundation row of trebles, which is US terminology is doubles. I think I got that the right way around. Trebles in the UK, doubles in the US. And because I'd done that, then worked the back, and then I crocheted into the front of that chain to do the front. And because I'd done the front and I didn't want to pick that, when I unraveled the back, if I'd unraveled that creation the foundation row, I would have had problems with the stitches that crocheted into it at the front. That makes sense. So I left that in place. I don't really mind the fact that it's a slightly different color. I think that looks fine. And I finished this yesterday afternoon, and then I blocked it. I didn't wash it. I just sprayed it very liberally with water because I was just worried about it drying on time. It was dry this morning. I took it up this morning because my parents' cleaner was coming and I thought she was going to hoover on the balcony, so I took it off. When I tried this on yesterday, and I'll try and put a picture on the screen, it was a little bit short and a little bit, the width was okay, but only just, but it was a bit short. And it did stretch a bit, so I'm going to put this on, adjust my mic, and then take a look at it. Okay, so this is the first time I've tried it since I took it off from the blocking mat. I was a little bit scared to try because I was worried it was going to be too short. I'll try and get a picture after I finish filming this and put that in, but I don't know, hang on, you might be able to, let me just pick up my camera. I've got more space here than I do at home. Let's just go for a little walk. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the length, I think. And the sleeves are like that. Sleeves are the length I wanted them. I think I'm happy with that. So I think I'm quite happy with that. Like the neckline, obviously the mic pulls it out of place a bit. I like the neckline. I tried to do the width I wanted it, but it was a little bit narrow. So the width originally came to here. So I crocheted this on. So this is going in that direction and that's going in that direction. And I crocheted this bit in the round. And I think I probably should have gone back and forth, but I did in the round. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It fits quite nicely over my t-shirt. So I'll be carrying this with me tomorrow. It won't fit in my backpack, so I'm going to have to carry this tomorrow. I didn't bring a jacket with me or another jumper with me because I have a couple of jumpers here and it looked like the weather forecast was going to be really good. And it has been, so I'm glad I didn't take a jacket because I wouldn't have used it. I would have had to carry it all the way here, carry it all the way home. Although it looks like it's a lot cooler in the UK than it is here. So I may need this on the way home tomorrow. I won't need it on the way to the airport, I don't think, or at the airport here. But I might do because I've got a few hours in London tomorrow. Because I land about midday, just after midday, and my train home is not till 6 o'clock in the evening. It'll take me about an hour and a half from when I land till I get to train station I'm getting the train home from. So I'll have a bit of time, 3 or 4 hours to maybe do something. We'll see. But I'm really happy with this. I wanted like a lightweight, easy, not too thick garment, not too heavy. The other crochet garment I did recently, if you haven't watched the recent podcast, I'll pop a picture on the screen. It's a bit more dense and a bit heavier. I think I've used a lot less yarn on this one. I think I had 9 balls in total. I think I have 2.5 balls left. That's 6.5. It's about 350 grams. But I love the colour and I'm very, very happy with it. Oh, I've got a marker here as well that I put on there for measuring purposes, counting purposes. I was wondering whether maybe I needed to add a little bit to the length, but I don't think I do. I'm going to try it like this and see what it's like. I'm going to try and keep it on while I film the rest of this. Because it's been so hot, we haven't really done a lot. It's been a lot of days where I've just popped to the shops, run some errands for my parents, and then we spent the rest of the day at home, sitting on the balcony with the fan pointing at me, trying not to get too hot. I haven't been for a single walk around this area because it's just been too hot. Even in the evening it's been too hot. I did go out on my own. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. I went to a nearby town called Drøbak, which is by the Oslo Fjord. It's really pretty. And it was really busy. I've never seen it so busy because I'm usually here out of season and it's not that busy. And I walked around the town first and looked in a couple of shops because we don't normally do that when we normally go. We just walk down to the seaside and past some pretty old houses and things. Then I went for a walk around. I was probably there for like 45 minutes and I was so hot. When I got back to the car, I just felt like I was melting. Got back in the car, turned the aircon on to full blast, and I had to stop at a shopping centre at the outskirts of the town on the way home. and I went for like an extra long detour around the town just to cool down enough so I could face going into a shopping centre. Shopping centre is quite old now. It was one of the first kind of proper indoor shopping malls in this area, and it was just too hot. I quickly looked for what I came in for. So, but I did have a walk around the town. I did film a little bit, so I'll show you that now. The other thing I finished is I finished one of my socks. So I started this when I arrived, 2 days after I arrived. I popped into the local yarn shop and got this yarn because I wanted to go to the cinema and see the Formula 1 movie. And I didn't have any sock yarn with me. I didn't think I could crochet in the cinema. So I went and got this. It's Rico Design Super Bar Kashmiri Luxury Socks. And I'd seen it last time I was here and nearly bought it, but didn't because I bought some other yarn. So I bought this and I wound it into a smaller ball because I always do. And I knitted this at the cinema. I knitted, I've taken the marker out now, probably about that much. Was it something like 68 rounds or something? I think last week when I filmed, I got to where I put the waist yarn in for the heel. Then I've taken it out with me a couple of times. I knitted a bit, so I was probably yesterday when I finished this crochet thing, I was probably about there, halfway towards the end of this purple section, I guess. And I finished it early this afternoon with the afterthought heel in. And I've cast on for the other one, but I haven't done very much. So I only cast on this afternoon. And then we had to cook dinner and eat dinner and all that kind of stuff and pack and things. So I've only done a few rounds. Hang on, how many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. So my goal is tomorrow, on my very long travel day, I leave here at 10 to 6, I think. So I think I'm going to try and catch a 6 train. And I get home at 21:40 in the evening. So I'll have quite a long day of traveling. So I'm going to try and see if I can finish that whole sock. So I've basically done like that much. I have 64 stitches. The leg is 90 rounds, I think. The foot from the afterthought heel to the toe is 75 rounds, plus the toe, plus the afterthought heel. So it's 90 plus 75 rounds on 64 stitches. So 165 rounds on 64 stitches. Somebody do the maths for me, plus the toe and the afterthought heel. So I'm going to see if I can get that finished while I'm traveling home tomorrow. If I get around to filming a bit traveling home tomorrow, and especially if I decide to do something while I'm in London, depends on whether my flight's on time or not, then I might do a little bit of a travel vlog tomorrow, which would be out on Tuesday. If not, I'll share with you next week if I manage to finish these socks. Now, you may remember, if you've been watching me for the last couple of months, that when I was here in May, I bought some yarn. I think you can see it actually if I lift this up. No, I don't think you can. I think you just can. Box on top of that cupboard behind me is my box of clothes, and there is a big bag of pink fluffy yarn in there. So I bought that when I was here in May at 50% off at the local yarn shop, and I knitted a swatch which I showed you last week, and I was going to cast on the sweater, or well, I think I would decide I was going to do a sleeveless top. And I was going to cast it on and try and finish it while I was here. Well, because of the problem with this just took too long. So I have not cast on for the fluffy pink jumper, and I'm leaving the yarn here. So when I come next time, which should probably be October, as long as there are no emergencies before then, I can cast on and knit that next time I come. So I've left that yarn here. I've taken the swatch home with me. I've packed it so I can write up the pattern for when I come in October. So that will be my October project. I haven't booked that trip yet, but I've blocked out the dates in my diary. So I think I just need to sort out my flights. But I'm very happy with this. I'm very excited to be teaching at Black Sheep Wools at Yarndale, at Harrogate in Yorkshire, Knit and Stitch Show at Harrogate, and hopefully also get some dates in a spinning yarn in Devon and a knitting hotel in Devon. So I'm going to be teaching in Devon and Cheshire and Yorkshire this autumn. Either, if those of you not in the UK, Devon is in the far southwest. We have Cornwall down the bottom and then Devon. Cornwall is where I live, and then Devon, and then you drive all the way up the country to Cheshire and Yorkshire. So it's not quite as far as you can get in England. There's a little bit north of that in England before you get to Scotland, but it's almost as far as you can get in England from where I live, really. But that's fun. I absolutely love it. So I'm really looking forward to it. So make sure you check it out if you're going to be at Harrogate. I'm not exhibiting at Harrogate, I'm just teaching. Don't forget, if you want 30% off all my patterns, if you want to stock up now, that'd be a good idea. 30% off until the end of July. Code is summer30, summer30, all one word. I'll put it on the screen and it's linked below. And that is it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a look, a couple of things we've done while I've been in Norway. Haven't done as much as I planned to do. I thought about having a day in Oslo, but in 30-degree heat, no, I did not fancy public transport, and it's just too hot. And with my hot flashes, I just overheat really, really quickly. So I just didn't fancy that. So it's been a really chilled holiday. Mainly just been running errands and hanging around at my parents' flat, but that's been fine. Right, that's it. Stop rambling. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I will see you next week back at home in my office. Thanks for watching.